Well, happy Thursday morning to you. We're back in 1 Peter this morning. We hear a lot these days about the word privilege. We hear about white privilege. We hear about male privilege. But I wonder, do you ever think about time privilege? Time privilege. What I mean by that is, I wonder, do you ever think about the privilege that it is to live in this day and age? I don't mean with regards to the technological advances that we have in 2020, but with regards to the timings of the work of Christ and the effect of your salvation. I wonder, do you ever think about the privilege that it is to be alive at this time post the cross and the work of Jesus Christ at Calvary? And in this little section of 1 Peter, we're reminded something of the privilege that it is to be alive in this day and age, as the Apostle Peter reminds us that our faith has great historic grounding. He talks about this salvation which he has been referencing just before this, the salvation bought for us by Jesus Christ. But this was a salvation which was promised long before Jesus even came, through many prophets who prophesied about the grace that was to be yours and searched and inquired of carefully. And what were these prophecies talking about? They were talking about the sufferings and the subsequent glories of Jesus Christ. And of course, in Jesus, all these prophecies came to their fulfillment. All these prophecies and all these promises are yes and amen in Christ. And so what a privilege for you and I at this point in history to be able to look back and see how all of these promises, which seemed perhaps so absurd at the time, were fulfilled in Jesus Christ. And because we know that God was true to those promises, we know that he will be true to the promises which he gives us now. Promises of his return. Promises of the glorious future inheritance that we've been looking at. We can trust God now because his word came true back then.